Welcome to the Savage Nation. I'm on vacation in my Florida studio. And although I have tried to inject some common sense into this stupid idea of reopening Alcatraz, which was just basically trolling people, uh, people keep repeating the big lie because Donald Trump said it. They gobble it up and spit it out like he's playing with you. Let me give you some facts. Most of you have never been to Alcatraz, number one. I don't think Donald Trump has been to Alcatraz, number two. I've lived in the Bay Area since 1974, number three. I've been around Alcatraz 1,000 times or more. I've been on Alcatraz many times. Until you have been there and until you have studied this, you have to understand you don't know what the hell you're talking about. I'm so angry to see these people who love Donald Trump as I do, repeating everything he says like it's the gospel. He was playing with you. It can't be reopened. It violates every protocol of DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. What is wrong with you people? Let's start with the basics. It's a rock in the middle of San Francisco Bay. Why would you say, yes, put them there? We have supermax prisons like Florence, right? We have other prisons where they could be put, or you want to build a new prison. Has anyone actually ever built a house? Do you understand that rebuilding an old house costs 3 times as much as building a new house, starting all over again? Do you understand that? So to take a relic like this and to rebuild it is the stupidest thing I ever heard in my life. There's no water on the island. Okay, Mike, we'll just build a pipeline from the mainland. That's number one. You're a genius, aren't you? Number two, how do the prison guards get to and from the island every day? By a ferry. How much does that cost? They can't drive to work anymore. But let's go back to building it. You're all geniuses. Every worker has to come there by boat, provided by the federal government. You have to bring the worker from the mainland, to Alcatraz, and then bring him back. How much will that cost, schmuck? Have you ever built anything? You ever tried to build anything anywhere in America? You know what it costs, what labor costs today? Now add to that transporting the laborers back and forth. How much will that cost? Violates Doge. That's number 5. So to build it would cost a couple of $100 million at least, probably a cost overruns over $1 billion. That's number 1. Number 2, now you have this thing built. Now you have the prisoners housed in there. Okay. How do the prisoners go to court every time they have to make an appearance? By boat, not by car, not by bus, but by boat. How much does that cost to take them from the rock to the mainland, then put them in a car and take them to the court and then take them back? How about the guards, the prison guards, and the staff in the hospital, the cooks, the guards, the nurses, the doctors, the pharmacists, the psychologists? How would they get to the rock every day? They can't just drive in their car like they do now. They'd have to be taken by boat. That violates every protocol of the Department of Government Efficiency. So the cost to run this prison would be probably 5 to 10 times more than a terrestrial prison. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Why do you people gobble up everything that's said like it's a genius 5-degree chess, 15-degree chess? The reason this place was closed to begin with is because it was more expensive to operate than any other federal prison, according to the Bureau of Prisons. That's what they wrote at the penitentiary as it was closed. This is one of the most inappropriate use of funds I could ever imagine. I can't estimate what it would cost to build it. Just to shore up crumbling concrete, retrofit it for earthquakes, and install 21st century security tech would be probably $300 to $500 million, I'm guessing, from estimates I've read. You'd have to barge in water, food, fuel, and raw sewage. That means the waste products of the prisoners can't go in a sewer pipe. It has to be taken out by barge. Violates Doge, Department of Government Efficiency. What I'm trying to say to you is this violates every premise of the Trump administration, which is to create government efficiency. This is a government boondoggle that I have no idea where Trump got this idea from. I don't know who whispered it to him, but I would tell you right now, as much as I admire Trump for what he is doing with regard to kicking the gangsters out, closing the border, etc., this is not a good idea. And either he was just trolling people saying, yeah, it's a terrible place, put it there so it'll scare everybody. And of course, the MAGAites gobbled it up like it was the gospel without thinking about it. And that is why I have come before you today in this short video on YouTube to educate you about this topic, because I'm sick and tired of watching the news and seeing hosts who are otherwise intelligent say, I'm all in, I'm all for this. Yeah, put them all on Alcatraz, without thinking through the costs, not only to build, but to maintain and to transport the prisoners and guards back and forth. You want a new Supermax prison? Build it on the border with Mexico in California. Or better yet, build it in the deserts of Nevada, which would be escape-proof. Because if anyone got out, which is almost impossible, they'd be dead within a few hours in the hot desert. And that is common sense from Michael Savage of the Savage Nation. New podcast up yesterday. Great podcast where great podcasts are heard. There are 500 episodes. I really should list the episodes that we have done. We were so far ahead of our time. We were doing things on vaccines before people even knew what a vaccine was. I was doing things about COVID before anyone knew what COVID was. I do have a PhD in epidemiology. Doesn't make me the world's genius, but I do understand data and can read it. We had so much to say in the past on these things that made sense. This does not make any sense. And I'm very, very happy that you listened to this today. Maybe you can educate the dialogue just a tad bit. And don't get me started on saying that Trump's right for making Canada the 51st state. That is an insult to Canadians, by the way. It's not a joke to keep repeating this. I don't know why Mr. Trump keeps saying this. It's never going to happen. All it does is antagonize a neighbor. It's why a liberal won in Canada. The Conservatives were on the cusp of winning. And because Trump attacked the Canadians in Canada, they reelected a crazy leftist. By the way, there are consequences to statements that are made by a powerful man like Donald Trump. I have no idea why he keeps repeating this thing about making Canada the 51st state. They are a very proud people. Their troops were extremely brave in World War II. Look it up. I have no idea why you would think they'd want to become part of this nation of ours. No reason for this whatsoever. Moreover, it would cost us more than you could ever imagine. Thanks for listening. Hit the like button, subscribe. I'm Michael Savage. Keep looking for my great podcast. With God's will and your listenership, I shall return. And by the way, my show on Newsmax TV last week was really good on childhood stories. I hope you saw it on Sunday night because it's worth watching. You can't watch it anymore. It's that simple. All right. Thanks for listening. Behind me are some of my books. I almost did a show going through all my old books with titles and talking about them because I'm in my Florida studio. I only get here 2 weeks a year. I'm going to stay much longer this time. You can see I just came off the beach. I'm dressed for TV. I walked on the edge of the surf for an hour. My ankles feel better. My feet feel better. I watch the birds feed. There's no people on the beach right now because it's during the week. You know, there is a thing called beauty, and I'll tell you something. The nature in Florida right now is amazing. Even looking at a common sea grape tree and looking at the wonder of a sea grape tree, Cocoloba uvifera. It's a magical tree. Or looking at the saw palmetto, the state plant of Florida. It was used by the Native Americans for everything. They call it a miracle tree, used for thatching, used for making houses. It's astounding what nature has to offer. And as a trained ethnobotanist, I seem to be in my element. And maybe one day I'll do a little show on the healing plants of Florida, maybe the healing plants of America. You could read one of my books. But if you look at these books, Stop the Coming Civil War, Liberalism is a Mental Disorder, The Political Zoo, A Savage Republic, Abuse of Power. God, any one of them is great. I was even going to do this for a show. Would you believe this? I found a box of this original version, August 3rd, 2009, of the New Yorker, where I was profiled. I may be the only talk show host in America ever profiled by this magazine. You say, big deal. Okay, say what you want. It's a great interview done by a great writer. Profiles Party of One, Michael Savage's misgivings by the great writer Kalefa Sana. And I almost reread this to you because it's very well written. And it's funny, actually. There's a lot of humor in it. I'm not going to do it now. I don't have the patience for it right now. Maybe one day this week, I'll just read it to you because it's worth listening to. Page 50. I have a box of these. I want to auction them off. Party of One, Michael Savage Unexpurgated by Kalefa Sana. It's a classic. The original August 3rd, 2009, New Yorker. Probably a collector would like these. I found a full box of them unopened. Would you believe it? You know, when I grew up, my heroes in the arts, musicians, jazz saxophonists, Lenny Bruce, or artists like him, were all featured in the New Yorker. Their profile. There's one of the greatest honors you could get would be profile in the New Yorker. And the cartoon, wow, I love it. Michael Savage is a heretic among heretics, as contemptuous of fellow right-wing stars as he is of liberal politics. Well, guess what? Nothing's changed. The same exact Michael Savage. As a radio host, Michael Savage is a heretic among heretics, as contemptuous of fellow right-wing stars as he is of liberal politics. Don't get me started on Sean Hannity. And don't say I'm jealous. I could buy and sell him 10 times over. I'm not jealous. I think he's contemptible because he is as deep state as they come, and so is his mini-me, Mark Levin, in my opinion. And that's all I have to say. Maybe I'll read this article to you later on in the week, maybe after. I haven't eaten yet. I'm tired. I'm starving myself, trying to get a little tighter. Guffness is his birthright, inherited from a father whose tyrannical strictness became less baffling to Savage as he grew older. Unlike his father, though, Savage is something of a softy, a political idealist, a sucker for a sob story, and a firm believer in the power of friendship. When he invited the journalist into one of his undisclosed locations, he proved to be a first-rate host, chatty and solicitous. A steady supply of beer refills lubricated the conversation. One of his earliest books was The Taster's Guide to Beer, which was published in 1977. I bet you didn't know that. And as the temperature dropped and the sky above Berkeley started to turn orange from across the bay, he seemed to be working hard to stay suspicious despite himself. On his show the next day, a caller asked how the interview had gone, and Savage described his interlocutor. If I told you he looked like Obama, I wouldn't be far from the truth. Coming from him, this sounded like a deeply twisted compliment. I told you he's a great writer. Anyway, this is a great article. It's worth reading. I don't think it's been topped. There's been newer ones written, newer biographies, but this was the best of all. A Party of One in the New Yorker, August 3rd, 2009. Yours truly, Michael Savage. Back at a future undisclosed date, to be the Party of One I've been from the day I began in radio. Thank you for listening. Please hit the like button and subscribe to get more people to watch. Thank you very much. And be here when I come back next time at an undisclosed time on the Savage Nation.